The vampire Empress and the Cloak Lieutenant Amy Brooks never expected her routine patrol mission to change the fate of two civilizations. The red sand of Kepler 442b swirled around her boots as she approached the crashed vessel Amy had been tracking. Unusual energy signatures for 3 days across this desolate planet, and finally found their source. The ship was unlike anything in human databases, with curves that seemed to flow like liquid metal, and a dark hull that absorbed light, rather than reflecting its steam hissed from damaged sections as Amy cautiously circled the craft. Her scanner detected a single life form inside critically injured. She knew protocol demanded she wait for backup, but something about the readings suggested time was running out. The airlock had been torn open by the crash. Amy squeezed through the gap and found herself in a chamber that defied physics. The walls seemed to pulse with a faint purple glow, and the air tasted of copper and starlight. She found her in what appeared to be a command throne. The alien woman was breathtaking in a way that made Amy forget to breathe. She stood nearly 7 feet tall with pale skin that seemed to glow from within. Her hair cascaded like liquid shadow down to her waist, and her eyes were the color of dying stars, deep violet with flecks of silver that seemed to move. Her ears came to elegant points, and when she looked up at Amy, her canine teeth were noticeably elongated. Blood the color of dark wine seeped from multiple wounds across her torso. Her breathing was labored and her hands trembled as she tried to rise from the throne. Amy had seen enough battlefield injuries to know this being was dying. Without thinking, she unclasped her military cloak, the one her grandmother had sewn extra pockets into for good luck. The heavy fabric had kept her warm through countless missions and bore the faded insignia of the colonial marines. She approached slowly, hands visible. The alien woman watched her. With eyes that held both ancient wisdom and present pain, Amy gently draped the cloak around those pale shoulders. The effect was immediate. The alien woman straightened her wounds, seeming to close slightly. The purple glow in the chamber brightened. She spoke in a voice like distant thunder mixed with silk. "Thank you, human warrior. Your kindness will not be forgotten." Before Amy could respond, the woman pressed something into her palm, a small crystalline device that felt warm against her skin. "I am Empress Lyrelai of the Valdris Empire," she continued. "My ship was attacked by those who would see our species extinct. You have shown mercy where others would show fear. This gift will call to me when the time comes." The crystal pulsed. Once, then went. Dark Lyrelai smiled, revealing those elegant fangs. "You wear your courage well, Amy Brooks. The cloak suits you better than it suits me." Amy blinked in surprise. "How do you know my name?" Lyrelai touched her temple. "Your thoughts sing at the edges of my consciousness. It is a gift of my people. We read intentions, not secrets. Your heart is pure." The Empress struggled to stand. Amy moved to help, but Lyrelai waved her off. "My ship will repair itself in time, but I must enter healing sleep until then. Guard the crystal well, human. The fate of both our peoples may depend upon it." Lyrelai moved to an alcove Amy had not noticed before. It opened at her approach, revealing a chamber filled with the same purple mist. Within was what looked like a crystalline bed. As the Empress lay down, the wounds across her body began to glow with soft light. "Sleep well, warrior," she whispered. "Your gift has bought my people time and hope." The chamber sealed, and the ship fell silent. Amy waited for an hour, but nothing changed. Finally, she made her way back to her shuttle and reported the encounter. Her commanding officers were skeptical, but the alien technology readings were undeniable. Months passed. Amy continued her duties patrolling the outer colonies and defending human settlements from raiders and hostile wildlife. The crystal remained dormant in her personal effects, a reminder of that strange encounter. Then everything changed. It started with reports from the frontier colonies. Ships unlike anything in human or known alien databases were attacking settlements. The aggressors called themselves the Devourers, and they left no survivors. Their technology was devastating, and their hunger for destruction seemed endless. Human fleets were outmatched. The enemy. Ships could phase in and out of normal space, making them nearly impossible to target. Their weapons drained power from human vessels, leaving them helpless. Amy was stationed aboard the battleship New Horizon when the crystal suddenly blazed to life. The warm pulse was so intense she could feel it through her uniform. She was in her quarters when reality seemed to fold around her. Lyrelay stood before her, no longer wounded but radiating power and authority. She wore armor that seemed crafted from starlight itself, and her eyes blazed with inner fire. "Amy Brooks," she said with that same silken thunder voice. "The time has come." The Empress gestured, and Amy found herself looking out at space through what seemed like a window in the air. 3 massive ships hung in the void, unlike anything Amy had ever seen. They were elegant and deadly, with the same flowing curves as Lyrelay's original vessel, but these were warships built for battle. "My fleet awaits your word." Lyrelay continued. "The Devourers are ancient enemies of my people. They consume entire civilizations, leaving nothing but empty worlds behind. Your kindness to me has earned humanity." "An ally." Amy stared at the alien Empress. "Why me? Why not contact our leaders officially?" "Because kindness cannot be commanded or negotiated," Lyrelay replied. "It must be given freely as you gave it to a dying stranger. Your leaders think in terms of politics and advantage. You acted from compassion. That is why my people will follow you into battle." The Empress extended her hand. "In my culture, the sharing of a cloak is sacred. It binds warrior to warrior in mutual protection. You are no longer merely human. Amy Brooks, you are Cloak's sister to the Valdris Empire." Amy took that pale hand and felt power flow between them. Not magic, but something deeper. Recognition. Acceptance. A bond forged not by treaties, but by a simple act of mercy. The battle that followed would be remembered for generations. The Valdris ships moved like dancers through space, their weapons creating beautiful and terrible light shows. The Devourers found themselves outmatched for the first time in centuries, but it was not just the alien technology that won the day. It was the coordination between human and Valdris forces. Amy found herself serving as a bridge between the species, her connection to Lyrelay, allowing for perfect tactical communication. When the last Devourer ship fell and the threat was ended, Amy stood on the bridge of Lyrelay flagship, looking out at the stars. The Empress approached, still wearing her star-forged armor. "You have given my people something we had forgotten," she said. "Hope, faith in others. We are ancient and powerful, but we had grown isolated, suspicious. Your simple kindness reminded us that strength shared is strength multiplied." Amy looked at her cloak, which had somehow been returned to her during the battle. It now bore new insignia symbols that seemed to shift and change in the light. "The cloak is yours to keep," Lyrelay said, "but it is changed as you are, changed as we all are. The Valdris Empire and humanity will stand together against the darkness." As Amy returned to her ship and her duties, she carried with her the knowledge that sometimes the smallest acts of kindness could transform entire worlds. The crystal still pulsed softly in her pocket, not dormant but patient, waiting for the next time two civilizations might need a bridge built from compassion. The red sand of distant worlds would remember the stars themselves, would sing of the human who gave her cloak to a dying empress and received in return a friendship that lit up the galaxy.